Now here's something I've been meaning to make a video about for a while. Now that I'm back from college for winter break, and my brother is at school right now, so he's not colonizing this place playing video games, I can now make a video about the almost entirely secondhand surround sound system that I built when my family got our basement finished. Basically, besides the TV, the Xbox, my brother's Xboxes, the 360 and the Xbox One, and I forget what, and the Sony Internet TV box down there. This is basically entirely secondhand. From various places, thrift stores, some things have been given, various places. I'll go through them one by one as I get to them. Well, I suppose we'll start with the Sharp TV. This is a 60-inch, let's see if I can find the model number here. There it is. My camera would focus on it. LC-60LE600U. Sorry, I can't hold this stable at this angle. This we did actually get new when we got the basement finished. As I said, one of the few parts of the system that was actually purchased new. I have to say, for something by Sharp, who I guess isn't really known as the greatest electronics company around, this actually works pretty well. I think we've never had too many problems with it. Not that I can think of, at least. Moving down here, through the guts of the system, we have a Denon. I guess that's how that's technically pronounced. I remember hearing it pronounced that way in commercials for their equipment. It's a Denon. What model is that? AVR 2807. It's actually a 7.1 channel surround sound receiver, but we're only using it in 5.1 here because the room's not really big enough for 7.1. This was actually given to us by the contractor who was finishing the basement. He apparently had it lying around, didn't need it anymore, so we got this along with these two Insignia speakers that we're using as the front left and right channels. These particular speakers, I believe, have been produced under many other names over the years. I believe Radio Shack had them under the Auvio name, and I forget who else had them. But they're cheap, but they work. They work pretty well. At least for a surround sound system like this, where there's, I guess, a bit of fill-in from the subwoofer. These work just fine. And then I actually, when we were getting the basement finished, I worked with the electrician to get these things put up and wired through the wall and whatnot, while as the wall was being put up. And for the rear channels, while we're talking about speakers, we have these two old realistic ceiling speakers. Not entirely sure when they date back to, but these I actually got from one of my neighbors. She had this. These were in the ceiling in her basement, and what she'd said about them was that they had been there since before she moved in. The previous owners had left them, and she had never used them once since moving in there. And since her basement had a drop ceiling, with ceiling tiles and whatnot, and a lot of the tiles needed to be replaced anyway, she had said I could take them out and use them for whatever I wanted. So here they are. Rear channels in the surround sound system. They're, as you can probably guess, they're full range drivers that are equipped with whizzer cones. I forget exactly what the model number on them is, but it's just a typical realistic full range speaker with the matching grill on it. And then for the center channel, continue with the speakers here, we have this Panasonic center channel from, I believe, some kind of home theater in a box system. This was given to me by YouTuber SpeakerDude24. It's a little treble heavy, but maybe I'll upgrade it at some point if I find a suitable upgrade at Goodwill or something. On the other hand, I could probably also just adjust the EQ on the receiver if I want to go that route. And then there's the sub. The sub's kind of funny. This is a JBL PowerBase PB10, and as you can probably guess, it's probably one of the more well-equipped pieces in the system. And as I was saying before, it does quite a bit fill in for some of the, depending on how it's, I mean, it depends on the source content, how it's mixed, and how exactly I set everything here. But oftentimes I find this does kind of fill in for what the other channels lack sometimes. This I got from Goodwill, of all places. I was not at all expecting to find this at Goodwill, and I think this was the most I ever paid on it for any one item at Goodwill. I believe it was like $50. But for a sub like this, I think it was well worth that. But yeah, so moving around, as I mentioned before, we have the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Those are my brothers. You can tell which of us is the gamer around here. We have Technics, however the heck you want to pronounce it, RSTR 313 cassette deck. That was also a Goodwill find. That was $12. That one I had already. Just pulled it out of my collection. Because you gotta have a cassette deck in any audio system around here. I will make sure of that. Here we have a Pioneer CLD V2400 Laserdisc player. This I got off of eBay. And this actually, interestingly, still has labels on it from the school district that once owned it. So, but it does work nicely. I have a few Laserdisc movies around. It was something I kind of wanted to try and get into, but I kind of forgot about after a while. But I use it occasionally. We have the usual Verizon Fios box. This one's actually only the DCT 700 so-called digital adapter model. It's only standard def because my parents are too cheap to get an actual high-def box down here. As much as I may not want to just throw them under the bus like that, I am going to do it because I do give them a hard time for that periodically. Although I was able to feed over-the-air TV down here as well, so we can get local channels in HD. Over here we got JVC HR-VP782U VCR. Again, a Goodwill find. That seems to be a common theme around here. We have a Sony NSZ GT1 Google TV box. This was very early in the life of Google TV, and of course the interesting feature of this particular model is that it has a built-in Blu-ray player. So it does the Google TV. It was supposed to add Google TV to older non-smart TVs, but it also gave you a Blu-ray player at the same time. So that was definitely very useful. Now up here we have a Sony, what's the model number on that? DVP-NC655P 5-disc DVD changer. Yet again, a Goodwill find. You could definitely easily do some kind of movie marathon or something on this. Just using the, just watch a movie, hit stop, hit disc skip, and watch another one, and just keep going with that for a while. I don't think we've ever tried that yet, but we definitely could do it. Up here we have a Denon, again, I think I'm pronouncing that right, DCD800 CD player. Yet again, Goodwill find. $8 on this one. Now, I know technically I could probably use the DVD player as a CD player. In fact, it says so right there. But I don't know, I just feel like having a separate CD player would maybe fix some confusion. Make it easier for less technically inclined people to use. So there's a set, you can just kind of follow all the labels on everything. I don't know. It's just me. Maybe it's just me being weird. And then over here we have something that definitely took me quite a while to make. This is an IBM ThinkCentre computer. Actually, I think it's technically a rebranded Lenovo, but I forget what the model number is on this. But I got this from a friend of mine and turned it into a Myth TV box. So this takes in the output of the Verizon Fios box over there and the TV antenna upstairs. Actually, this uses the it actually takes that in over the network. I have an HD home run box up in my room on the top floor of the house with an antenna connected to that, and it can just, the tuner is in that, and then it just streams it down to this computer from there. Which is nice, because then the antenna gets to be on higher ground, whereas this is in the basement. This definitely took me a while to get working, especially with the trying to get it to deal with Verizon Fios. As you can see, there's an IR blaster on there to get this thing to control it. And then I have this old HP IR receiver slash blaster driver thing, I guess you could kind of call that. That came from an old HP Media Center machine that suffered motherboard failure a few years back. Let's see, am I forgetting anything here? I don't think I am. I think I hit everything in this setup. So meanwhile, I figure I might as well demonstrate this before this video gets too long. Turn this on. And needless to say, it's on one of my brother's video games as usual. Let's see here, we'll move this over to TV, which is the Google TV box. Not the Google TV, the Myth TV, rather. And we'll go ahead and turn the TV on from over here. Now, if we grab the this repurposed JVC TV remote from a really old TV that my family hasn't had in years, Myth TV interface should come up momentarily. There it is. It's got the standard theme on it. Now, let's try, we'll go up to, well, we'll hit Watch TV first. Not optical discs. Jeez. Can be a little slow sometimes. And we're having signal problems. This is coming in over the air. Let's try another channel. I have no idea what this is, but I don't know, we'll flip through a few other channels. But yeah, as you can see, HDTV over the network does work, but you can also go to something on Fios. We'll go like that, put in a Fios channel, and it gets that off the cable box. But for now, we'll exit that. We'll do a better demonstration of the sound system itself, as much as you can really do that on a little camera like this. Let's see, which one do I want to do? We'll do this one. Hope you can at least get some of an idea of the how the system works from that. But yeah, so that is my almost entirely secondhand surround sound system. Hopefully, maybe I'll at some point do more in-depth videos on some of the individual components, like maybe the receiver and the definitely the Laserdisc player. That one's an interesting one. But yeah, so in the meantime, thanks for watching, and hopefully there will be more stuff on this and other audio and video equipment and all that fun stuff coming soon.